If what you suspect is true, it means that our Kanya-sai came at the cost of somebody's high school career. That's pretty major. You surprised me, you know.
How'd I do that?
I wouldn't expect you to put effort into solving a mystery like this.
Yeah, I didn't expect it either.
Funny thing is, it's not even the first mystery you've solved since high school started. And I think I know why you're going to all this trouble. It's for Chitanda.
It's her fault, alright.
Put it how you want. You do this stuff because of her. I mean, you could have bailed on us today. The responsibility for unraveling that mystery was split between the four of us. If you'd said, "I've got no clue," and left it at that, I doubt anyone would have blamed you. Instead, you locked yourself in the bathroom until you could come up with an answer. Why do something like that if not to help Chitanda?
Couldn't tell you. Maybe I'm just tired of my little black cloud. I don't know anyone in this world less energy efficient than Chitanda. Being a club president, taking midterms, writing an anthology, solving riddles from the past. I'm surprised she isn't exhausted. Same thing goes for you and Ibara. All of you just do so much, you know? It seems wasteful.
Yeah, to you maybe.
The thing is, I'm starting to wonder if you might have the right idea. Sometimes when I watch you guys, it makes me feel restless. And I don't like that feeling. I mean, all I want to do is relax, except relaxing's begun to feel boring lately. So I thought, why not? I'll give it a try. I'll really get invested in something the way you guys do. Maybe it'll make for a nice change. Well, say something.
Hotaro. Are you starting to see that living a sunny life isn't so bad after all?
Yeah, maybe. A sunny life. Huh. At the end of the day, is that really what I want? I don't know. Chitanda's search for the truth. Jun Sekitani's battle for the Kanya-sai. Am I cut out for that kind of thing? Is that the type of person I want to be? I don't know. What does it even mean to have a sunny life? I don't know. Then there's my sister, the queen of sunshine. This has been a lot of fun, and I know I'll look back in 10 years and be glad I did it. 10 years from now, how will I feel when I look back at my life? Jun Sekitani wouldn't have any regrets. But me? Hello, Oroki residence.
Hotaro? That you?
Hey, sis, you're still alive, huh?
Don't underestimate me. You think I can't survive a mugging or two?
So that's the kind of trouble you're getting yourself into.
I just reached Pristina yesterday. Nothing in particular to report. I'll send another letter that way once I get to Sarajevo. How are things on your end?
Huh. We're working on the anthology, Hyouka.
Oh yeah? Good.
We've been looking into Jun Sekitani.
Jun Sekitani? There's a name that takes me back. So his story is still going around. Is Kanya-sai still off limits?
Sorry, what'd you say?
What a tragedy, huh? The poor kid.
Wait, off limits? Tragedy, the poor kid? Hold on a sec, I'm talking about Jun Sekitani.
Yeah, so am I. The so-called kind-hearted hero, right? That's who you mean, isn't it?
Well, I'm not so sure anymore. What else can you tell me about Jun Sekitani?
Nothing right now. I gotta go.
Hey! Wait! So not cool, Tomoe! I've still got work to do. I presented my theory to the others, but it's either incorrect or incomplete. If he's still alive, does Jun Sekitani have any regrets about his time in high school? I wouldn't have thought there'd be any reason to. He was a hero. He left school as a martyr for what he thought was a noble cause. He was totally happy to fall on his sword. Or at least that's how I imagined it. But is that really how it happened? To be kicked out of school over a festival and have a whole phase of his life altered? High school's all sunshine and roses, but having your high school experience cut short because you and your friends wanted a longer festival? That doesn't exactly sound sunny or rosy to me. We're missing something. How many people could sacrifice everything and not feel a bit of resentment or regret? What's more, Sis called it a tragedy. She felt sorry for him. Was Junseki Tani's high school life really all that sunny? I've got to figure this out.
Oh, hey, Fuku.
Hey, so you got marching orders from Hotaro too, I take it?
We all have to meet up in the club room to talk about something.
I can't believe he's actually calling a meeting. I guess this means that somewhere pigs are flying.
I hope it doesn't take long. I'm busy with manga club.
Oh, hey, you two. Thank you again for your help yesterday.
Sure. Honestly, it was kind of fun.
So, no sign of Hotaro?
Not yet.
Here's the man himself.
You all made it.
What you want to talk about?
It's the whole Junseki Tani thing. I don't think we've completely settled it all yet.
What? Are you kidding me?
So, Oriki, what's up? I don't really think you would call a meeting like this unless something important was going on.
It's all right. There's some gaps in the story, but I think we can fill them in.
Great.
Well, let's get on with this. What do you mean by gaps?
By gaps, I mean gaps. There are still a few tiny holes in our theory about Chitanda's uncle, and I'm trying to close them.
Hold on. Are you suggesting that your theory was incomplete?
I don't know. I mean, either we went off in the wrong direction or we didn't go far enough.
You don't know? You called us in to say you don't know? Seriously?
Just listen. I think we should have given more weight to what it said in Hyouka. It clearly states in the foreword that Junseki Tani's story is in no way a heroic tale.
We've read that, but excluded it from our deliberations, because it seemed like it was just an opinion and not a fact.
Yeah, but I think maybe we shouldn't have excluded it.
It's a little late for
Look at this. What does it say? The struggles that were endured, the sacrifices that were made. Does it really mean sacrifices? It could also be read as offerings, right?
Except offerings is spelled differently. It starts with the character for alive.
No, it can be read as either sacrifice or offering. Originally, the two meant the same thing.
There you go. Our resident academic genius has spoken.
Okay, great, so it could mean one of two things, but only the person who wrote it knows for sure which one it is. The best that we're going to be able to do is make an educated guess.
Not true. We can go to the source.
Wait, the source?
The person who wrote the foreword, Yoko Koriyama. 45 years ago, she was a first year in high school, so today she'd be around 60.
You looked for her then? Where is she?
A lot closer than you would probably think. Right, library assistant?
No way, seriously?
Yep.
Seriously, what?
Would you please just tell us?
It's our librarian. That's who you mean, right? She's Yoko Itoigawa, but she used to be Yoko Koriyama.
That's right. She has a unique way of spelling her first name. And she looks around 60, which is just about how old the foreword's author would be at this point. And let's not forget how she reacted when she found out we were in the Classic Lit Club.
Wow, you are freaky good at this. I mean, I've been working with her this whole time, and the name thing never even occurred to me. Really, you should donate your brain to science or something.
Like I've said before, I'm not doing anything special, it's just luck, that's all. So nobody needs to go poking around in my brain, okay?
Okay, so then, if we go and ask Missy Toigawa about all of this...
We'll find out what happened 45 years ago. Why it was in no way a heroic tale. Why the picture on the anthology cover is what it is. Why they chose the name Hyouka. And also, what really happened to your uncle.
Sure, it's possible that Missy Toigawa is who we're looking for, but do you have any solid proof?
Of course I do. In fact, I've confirmed it already.
What, with her?
Yeah, she said that when she was a second year, she was the club president. I set up an appointment so we could all talk to her. Actually, it's almost time for it. We should probably start heading to the library.
Just admit it, you're pumped.
Maybe I am.
Hi, Missy Toigawa.
Hi there, Classic Lit Club. I still have a bit of shelving to get done. You don't mind if we talk out here, do you?
No problem, I'll help you.
Thank you, Ibara. Now then, you said there was something you wanted to ask me about?
Yes, but before we go any further, Miss Itoigawa, could you do me a favor and confirm for my fellow club members here that your maiden name is in fact Hyouka Koriyama?
Yes.
So, you're the one who wrote this then?
Why, yes, I did write it a long time ago. I'm surprised to see it unearthed like this. I think I might know what it is you want to ask me. Unless I'm mistaken, you're curious about the protests that occurred 45 years ago.
I was right. She's got the info we need.
But what I don't understand is why anyone is asking about it now. I thought everyone would have forgotten about it by this point.
Yeah. If Chitanda wasn't such a crazy curiosity monkey, I seriously doubt that we'd all be here asking you about it right now.
A crazy curiosity monkey?
Sorry, I meant curiosity junkie.
Either way, Oreki, that's not very nice.
Well, whatever the case may be, why are you kids so interested in what happened back then?
Because Jun Sekitani. You see, ma'am, he's my uncle.
Oh, really? Your uncle, huh? Jun Sekitani. That name brings back memories. How is he doing these days?
I don't know. He left for India and then he went missing.
I'm sorry to hear that. You know, I'd always hoped I'd be able to see him again someday.
Yeah, me too. I would like to see him again so very much. Miss Itoigawa, will you please tell us just what happened here all those years ago? Why was the story involving my uncle not a heroic one? Why is the club's anthology called Hyouka? How much of Oreki's theory about the protest is correct?
I'm sorry, Oreki's theory? What exactly does that mean?
Well, you see, Oreki pieced together some information and came up with a possible outline of what went down during the protest all those years ago. I'm sure he'll tell you all about it if you don't mind listening.
Sure. Why don't we talk about this more in my office? Very interesting. And that's why you assume his expulsion was delayed until October? They wanted to let the tension die down?
Yes, that's my conjecture anyway.
And you put together this theory from nothing more than the material you have here?
Everyone else did the real work. I just summarized it.
Well, I'm truly astounded.
Am I way off base?
No, it's like you witnessed it yourself. What you describe is almost exactly how it happened. I'm not sure what more I can tell you about it, to be honest.
Well, Hotaro seems to think that something about his theory is either wrong or incomplete.
There's just one thing I'm not totally sure about. Did Jun Sekitani willingly take the hit for the other students who were involved? Did he make a brave stand, holding his head high as he knowingly sacrificed his whole high school career for the greater good of the protest movement?
Quite impressive. You see right through these things, eh? Well, it was a very long time ago now, but I still remember it so clearly. The high school cultural festival was a very big deal. For a lot of kids, it seemed like the only purpose in life. In those years, it was almost as if students were channeling the nation's restless energy and using the festival as an outlet for self-expression. But the year I started school, that restless energy became more agitated, and we found ourselves at the edge of a full-blown riot. That year, the principal dropped a bombshell saying, "We can't content ourselves with being a small-time school in a sleepy little town." Everyone was afraid that meant the cultural festival would be abolished. It wasn't, but the principal did inform us that the festival would last for only 2 days rather than the normal 5. That announcement triggered an unprecedented uproar. The whole school was on edge. People hung banners and made speeches. They cried out about injustice and autonomy, hoping to bend the administration to their will.
Sounds like they were very committed.
Yeah, those kids weren't afraid to stand up for what they really cared about.
Honestly, it wasn't as noble as all that. I'd say it was more like someone had threatened to take away our toys, so we were throwing a tantrum about it.
Really?
Yes, that's how it seems looking back on it now. At any rate, we formed a sort of coalition to protest the shortening of the cultural festival. Nobody wanted to be the official leader. Pathetic as it sounds, we were all too afraid of being punished. Jun Sekitani drew the short straw. He wound up as the scapegoat for the whole movement. Somebody else was actually running the show behind the scenes, but he never made his name public. The administration would give in to us eventually, but we didn't know that. We'd whipped ourselves into a self-righteous frenzy as only the young can, and in the end, we went too far. In addition to all the rallies and speeches, students were boycotting classes. And then, as part of a demonstration one night, we built a bonfire to show how serious we were. That's when it happened. The fire spread to the combat sports building. Despite firefighting efforts, it was partially destroyed. At that point, the school couldn't possibly look the other way. Rather than involve the police, they conducted their own investigation. Since almost all the students were involved with the movement, they couldn't very well punish everyone. Instead, they settled for making an example of the movement's nominal leader, Jun Sekitani. Eventually, he was found guilty and expelled from the school. The rest of us did nothing. We just sat back and watched as it happened. But despite our cowardice, Sekitani never broke his silence. That's what you wanted to know about, right? Whether he volunteered himself as a sacrifice for the other students? I assume that answers the question for you then. The years passed, and sure enough, the cultural festival was shortened anyway, a little bit at a time. Now it only lasts for 3 days. Well, that's the end of my story, unless you have any other questions that you'd like to ask me.
I have one. The drawing on the anthology's cover is supposed to symbolize what happened, right? The dog is the school, the rabbits are the students, and the rabbit fighting the dog is Jun Sekitani.
The combat sports building is by far the oldest facility we have at Kami High. Is that because it was rebuilt back then?
That's right. So 20 years ago, when the rest of the school was remodeled, that building was still new enough that it didn't need to be fixed up like the others.
You know, I've noticed something. Most people call the cultural festival Kanyasai, but you don't. I was wondering, the way Kanya is written in Kanyasai, does it stand for Sekitani instead of Kamiyama?
I don't understand what you're saying.
The origin of the term Kanyasai. They took Sekitani-sai and switched the reading to make it Kanyasai to honor Jun.
Oh.
Except calling it that's kind of misleading, since Jun Sekitani was really more of a victim than a hero. Something tells me if people knew that, they probably wouldn't even use the term Kanyasai.
So is that really true?
Yes. As a matter of fact, we banned that name in the Classic Lit Club.
And the title? Do you have any idea why my uncle chose Hyouka to be the title of the club's anthology? We're still missing that piece of the puzzle.
I don't know. Sekitani could sense he was going to be expelled, and he was uncharacteristically intent on using that title, so how could we argue? He said that it was the only thing left he could do. I'm sorry, but if it does mean something, I don't know what.
You really don't know? How is that even possible? Nobody ever figured it out? I mean, the message was obvious.
Wanna tell us what you're thinking?
The story we just heard makes it clear what the anthology's title means. Hyouka is wordplay, plain and simple.
It's wordplay?
Jun Sekitani wanted to leave an enduring message about what happened to him, something that would resonate for decades to come. So he put it right there in the title of the anthology.
I still don't get it. If you know what Hyouka means, will you please just tell us?
Yeah, out with it already.
Come on, Hotaro! Hotaro?
How do you translate Hyouka into English?
I think it's ice cream, isn't it?
Ice cream, okay. That's not much of a message, though.
Like I said before, it's wordplay.
Hey, you guys... I don't...
This is it. The real statement that Jun Sekitani was making.
I went to my uncle and asked if he'd tell me what Hyouka meant. He told me, and then he also said... Right. He said that I had to be strong, and that if I was ever weak, if someday... Yes, if a day ever came when I couldn't even scream, if that day came, then I would be eaten alive. Terrified of being eaten alive. I remember. Finally, I remember. Now, I can let my uncle go. And it's all thanks to you, Oreki. Thank you so very much. I mean it.
Yeah, well, it was just luck.
Okay, if you say so, just luck.
Ice cream. I scream. It all depends on how you say it, huh?
Okay, I drew up an outline and a schedule for writing the anthology.
Wow, thanks for putting all this together, Mayaka. It's an incredible outline.
Oh, is it?
Absolutely! Where'd you learn to make a storyboard like this?
Just something I picked up, I guess.
Wait a sec. I've got a question about this special feature. The one you call The Case of the Kind-Hearted Hero, the truth that was hidden for 45 years.
What's wrong?
How did I end up being in charge of writing it?
Come on, Oreki, you're the one who solved the mystery. It only makes sense.
It's the longest story in the whole thing.
Of course it is. It's the anthology's featured article.
I know it's a big responsibility. If you'd prefer, I can try to take it on myself instead.
Yeah, that sounds great.
No, don't do it, Chi. We've got to put Mr. Lazybones to work somehow, and this is our best chance.
Yeah, right. We don't want him getting complacent.
Don't waste time complaining, Oreki. Just get to work on your outline. Now, Fuku, about the article you'll be writing.
You know, I'm kind of surprised.
About what?
That you accepted the anthology assignment Mayaka gave you.
Can you really call it accepting if somebody forces you to do something? Well, I guess Jun Sekitani would know all about that, wouldn't he? You know, you surprised me too.
How?
When this whole thing started, I suggested that you ask Satoshi and Ibara to help you out with it. You didn't seem to like the idea much at first, so what made you change your mind about it?
It's hard to explain. I'm sure it had something to do with what you said to me before, about how we would probably need help if we were going to solve the mystery before my uncle's funeral. I know it's possible that 10 years from now I won't care so much about all this, but I'm just not sure that's a gamble I'm willing to take. Whether or not things change as time passes, what I'm feeling now is real. I can't pretend those feelings don't matter. I want to live my life in the present, not the future. Which is why... I'm babbling, huh? Sorry, I'm still trying to figure it all out.
That's okay. I can understand that. Well, at least we solved the mystery.
Yeah. Well, see ya.
Hey there, sis. I'm writing because I've got some questions for you. How much did you know about the Classic Lit Club? And why was it so important to you that I get involved with it? You know I'm an energy conservationist. That's just my way of living. If I hadn't joined the Classic Lit Club this year, I probably wouldn't have given that a second thought. Is that why you wanted me to do it? Did you know somehow that it would force me to reconsider my priorities in life? This whole Hyouka thing, it's got me wondering, am I doing things right? Does being more passionate about stuff make life more exciting or just more heartbreaking? I don't know. Maybe it's both. That's always possible. Did you know I'd start wondering about this stuff? No, that's silly. Anyway, that's all I've got to report for now. I'll go ahead and wrap this letter up. Have a nice trip. And thanks for the advice. Your brother, Hotaro.
今夜恋に変わる幸せな夢で会おうきっとね見つけてねまどろみの約束 芽生えてたぬくもり暖かくて戸惑うこんな気持ちをまだあなたはわからないのその視線には意味なんて別にないはずだって友達にしてるのと同じ明け方に消えてく小さな願い星夜の間だけの午後今夜恋に変わる幸せな夢で会おうきっとね見つけてねまどろみの約束
Next time, committing a cardinal sin.